Most one-hit wonders aren't accidents. In R&B, they're warnings. Warnings about timing. About an industry that moves faster than talent. About songs that arrived so perfectly formed, so locked into a single unrepeatable moment, that the world heard them once, and the artists never fully recovered. Today, Soul Lens is counting down 12 R&B records that outlived their creators' careers. Songs that didn't just top charts, they closed chapters. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand something most music documentaries won't tell you. Some hits don't open doors, they close them. Number 12. Zapp, Computer Love, 1985. Before we talk about the song, let's talk about the moment. America was quietly rewiring itself. Personal computers were entering living rooms. Long-distance relationships were becoming the norm. Technology was beginning to replace proximity. And most R&B hadn't caught up yet. Zapp did. Roger Troutman's talkbox wasn't decoration here. It wasn't the flashy funk trick people expected. It was something far more deliberate. Emotional displacement. A human voice filtered through circuitry. Warmth running through a machine. The contradiction was the point. The lyrics don't describe romance in motion. They describe romance in waiting. Waiting for calls. Waiting for connection. Waiting for something that feels close but isn't. That tension is why Computer Love lived on late-night radio. Not daytime, not party hours. After midnight, when distance feels loudest, this song made perfect sense. DJs refused to let it go. They extended it, looped it, let it breathe. The record crossed from R&B into pop and stayed alive long after its chart run because it captured something people couldn't yet name. Zapp released other records after this. Some funkier, some harder. None felt as vulnerable. That's the truth most retrospectives skip. Computer Love didn't fail to be repeated. It couldn't be repeated. It put language to a feeling before people had words for it. That's why it still works today. Number 11. Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me, 1984. This song worked because it wasn't exaggerated. It was casual fear. And in 1984, casual fear made complete sense. Cold War tension, media saturation, a growing, creeping sense that privacy was quietly dissolving. Rockwell didn't dramatize that anxiety. He just spoke it plainly, almost conversationally. I'm just an average man with an average life. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And then came the element that transformed curiosity into obsession. Michael Jackson's voice, often credited, unmistakable. The contrast between Rockwell's nervous, ordinary delivery and Michael's smooth, otherworldly chorus created a discomfort listeners couldn't shake. It felt wrong in the best possible way, like something familiar had suddenly become strange. MTV amplified it. Radio chased it. The song crossed genres without needing an explanation because fear doesn't need an explanation. But fear also doesn't scale. Once the cultural moment passed, every follow-up Rockwell released sounded ordinary. And ordinary couldn't compete with the memory of collective anxiety. This wasn't a novelty hit. It was a psychological snapshot. A sound that could only exist once, in that exact year, in that exact atmosphere. And it did. If this music is bringing back memories, or creating new ones, then Soul Lens was built for you. This channel exists to keep soul music alive. Not just the hits, the history behind them, the stories the charts never told. If that sounds like your kind of place, tap subscribe right now and settle in. The best entries are still coming. Number 10. The Emotions. Best of My Love. 1977. This record succeeded because it broke an unspoken rule. In the 1970s, soul music thrived on struggle. Heartbreak sold, pain resonated. That was the formula. And then the Emotions walked in and rejected all of it. No betrayal, no desperation, no sorrow, just assurance. Pure, simple, radical assurance. Best of My Love didn't ask listeners to survive something. It invited them to feel good, cleanly, completely, without condition. In 1977, that kind of simplicity was almost revolutionary. The Emotions were already respected before this, but they weren't essential. This song changed that overnight. It dominated R&B radio, then crossed to pop without dilution. And that mattered enormously. Few black vocal groups made that crossing cleanly in that era. But the industry pivoted fast. As disco peaked, labels started chasing movement over feeling. Joy became disposable. Consistency became unfashionable. The Emotions didn't disappear. They were simply left behind by a trend cycle that had no patience for permanence. The song never left, though, because happiness doesn't expire. When people hear it today, they don't remember chart positions. They remember moments, specific moments, afternoons and celebrations and drives in kitchens. That's permanence. No chart can give you that. Number 9. Shalimar. Second Time Around, 1980. This record wasn't optimistic. It was defiant. By 1980, Shalimar was considered unstable. Lineup changes, management tension, industry whispers about whether they had a real identity or just borrowed energy. The questions were loud. Second Time Around was their answer. The groove is smooth, effortlessly, almost dangerously smooth. But underneath the warmth, the lyrics hint at something harder. Correction, accountability, earned trust. This wasn't a fantasy about love. It was a negotiation, a real one. Listeners who'd ever had a relationship fall apart and fought to rebuild it understood exactly what was being said. Not with drama, with dignity. The song climbed R&B charts and crossed into pop, temporarily restoring industry confidence in the group. But success doesn't fix fractures. Behind the scenes, internal disagreements never fully resolved. Momentum returned. Trust didn't. That's why this record feels both triumphant and fragile at the same time. It's the sound of a comeback that knows, deep down, it might be temporary. Number 8. Carlton. She's a Bad Mama Jama, 1981. This record didn't come from a marketing plan. It came from a worldview. Specifically, Rick James' worldview. And Rick James understood something most label executives in 1981 didn't. Confidence doesn't need explanation. It doesn't build. It doesn't warm up. It arrives. She's a Bad Mama Jama arrives fully formed. No intro sermon, no emotional setup. Just immediate authority from the first second. Carlton's vocal performance is almost intentionally secondary. The song isn't about him, it's about presence, a force, something you feel before you can describe it. Radio programmers understood that instinctively. DJs didn't test it, they trusted it. But here's the industry truth most stories skip. Carlton wasn't properly positioned to follow that moment. Rick James' production was so dominant, so fully realized, that it elevated the record while simultaneously consuming the artist's identity. The song didn't introduce Carlton, it replaced him. Every follow-up felt smaller by comparison, even the solid ones, because that's the danger of a hit that sounds effortless. It makes everything afterward feel like effort. And audiences, whether they know it or not, can hear the difference. Number 7, Blue Magic. Sideshow, 1974. Early 1974. 5 guys from Philadelphia walk into Sigma Sound Studios with producer Norman Harris. What comes out is a carnival-themed slow jam that turns heartbreak into poetry. The metaphor alone was genius, comparing a painful relationship to performing as a clown in a sideshow. Exposed, watched, made a spectacle of your own suffering. Ted Mills's lead vocals soared over lush strings and a bass line that moved like it had somewhere important to be. Doing Sideshow shot to number 1 on the R&B chart and number 8 on the Hot 100, earning gold certification. For months, Blue Magic looked unstoppable. They toured with the OJs. They toured with Harold Melvin. The industry treated them like a dynasty in the making. But lightning didn't strike twice. Despite their incredible vocal talent, no follow-up matched what Sideshow had done. Not because the songs were bad, but because the original had a specific alchemy that can't be engineered. The right metaphor, the right moment, the right voice at the right altitude. Today, the song lives on in samples and oldie stations. The group behind it, nearly forgotten. A perfect vocal performance, frozen in time. Number 6, Atlantic Starr, Always, 1987. Always didn't become a hit. It became a ritual. That's a crucial difference. And it's what made it so powerful and so limiting at the same time. The song was released during a period when R&B ballads were expected to compete with pop spectacle. Big productions, dramatic builds, vocal gymnastics. Atlantic Starr did none of that. They stripped everything down to a single steady commitment. No crescendo, no acrobatics, just a promise. I stated plainly, without hesitation. Radio programmers loved it because it fit every format. Couples loved it because it felt sincere, not performed. Time loved it because it didn't chase trends and therefore couldn't be dated by them. But the industry punishes permanence. Once a song becomes ceremonial, weddings, anniversaries, moments of real emotional weight, it stops being flexible. Every Atlantic Starr release afterward got measured against this emotional ceiling. Nothing could clear it. They didn't fail. They were immobilized by success, held in place by one song that grew larger than any era could contain. That's not tragedy, but it's not freedom either. Number 5, Loose Ends, Hanging on a String, 1985. This record didn't conquer America. It confused America, beautifully. Loose Ends arrived from the UK with restraint, subtlety, and emotional ambiguity. Those weren't dominant qualities in mid-80s American R&B, which leaned toward spectacle and directness. The groove on Hangin' on a String didn't push. It hovered, patient, sophisticated, assured. That intrigued listeners, but it didn't anchor them. American radio embraced the song, but not the group, and that distinction matters enormously. US audiences in that era often treated international R&B as a moment, something to sample, rather than a movement to invest in. The song crossed over. The identity didn't follow. Still, Hangin' on a String became a reference point, a quiet blueprint for smooth R&B that valued texture over theatrics. Its influence on producers and writers outlasted its chart life by decades. The song planted seeds, even if the name above it never got the credit it deserved. Number 4, Cherrelle, Saturday, Love, 1985. This song succeeded because it lowered the stakes and meant it. Most love songs ask for forever. Saturday Love asked for right now, this weekend, this afternoon. That specific, limited, honest ask felt genuinely refreshing in a genre that often reached for the eternal. Produced within the Minneapolis sound orbit, that tight blend of funk, pop, and R&B that Prince had refined into an art form. The record was lightweight but intentional. Every element earned its place. Cherrelle's vocal tone was the key. It wasn't commanding. It was inviting. Warm rather than powerful. That made the song relatable instead of aspirational. And for a moment about weekend joy, that was exactly right.
When I look at you.
But the same quality that made it special limited its legacy. The industry didn't know how to expand light joy into a long-term narrative. There was no obvious sequel to Contentment. So the moment stayed exactly where it belonged. Weekend Love, perfectly contained. Number 3, Surface, Happy, 1986. Number 2, Al B, Sure, Night and Day, 1988. This song didn't just introduce Al B. Sure. It launched a template, falsetto as confidence, romance without apology, smoothness without softness. A debut single that rewrote what a young black male artist could sound like in 1988. Not hard, not aggressive, not trying to prove anything. Just effortlessly, completely himself. The debut was overwhelming, and that's exactly the problem. Massive debut singles distort perception in a specific and irreversible way. Everything after sounds smaller, even when it isn't smaller, even when it's genuinely good. The listener's brain has already calibrated to the peak, and it measures everything against that moment. Industry pressure rushed follow-ups. Creative space disappeared. Al B. Sure remained visible, influential, and respected. His fingerprints are on decades of R&B that followed him. But the debut defined him permanently. This is what happens when timing and image and sound collide too perfectly. The first impression becomes the only impression that ever fully lands. Number 1, Miki Howard, Love Under New Management, 1989. This song wasn't about heartbreak, it was about control. Miki Howard didn't plead, she didn't mourn, she didn't apologize, she declared. Love Under New Management reframed emotional recovery not as a wound healing, but as a business decision. The relationship is over. The terms have changed. I'm in charge now. That shift, from healing to authority, was radical in 1989. It's still rare today. Her delivery reinforced every word. I know fragility, no second guessing, the kind of confidence that doesn't come from not being hurt. It comes from being hurt and choosing what to do with it. Audiences responded immediately. The record climbed the charts and entered the culture. And then the industry showed its hand. Labels in 1989 didn't know how to market empowerment without anger. Female strength had to be either sweet or fierce, vulnerable or aggressive. Miki Howard was neither. She was settled. And settled didn't fit a formula, so the moment stayed singular. But the song remains definitive for a reason that has nothing to do with charts or industry politics. It offered something genuinely rare in R&B, or any genre. Closure without bitterness. Not, I'm over you because I hate you. Not, I'm over you because time passed. But, I'm over you because I decided to be, and I'm better for it. That's not just a great lyric, that's power. And power, real power, doesn't need a follow-up.